Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. Welcome to the Cricket Happening Show. And on this Cricket Happening Show, again, it's going to be three matches. So, first, I'll do a summary and then we will look into some little details. As I said, because there are three matches, I can't go into any of the minute details of that, as you would know. So, the matches that happened today. First was the match between, it was the second day's play in the test match, which is the first test match between Sri Lanka and South Africa. And the Sri Lankans, as I said yesterday, right from the first day, one could discern that there was turn in this pitch and goal, and how apt it was as South Africa were bowled out for 126 with spin, the mantra really, as Lakshan Sandakan, Rangana Heratu started it all, and Dilruwan Pereira, all of them combining with only Suranga Lakmal taking 3 wickets, the captain of the team, and they sunk the South Africans to 126 all out. So that meant that, also, it was, they were sunk to a total of 126. So that meant that they had a lead of 161 runs over the South Africans. And Sri Lanka, and as far as the Sri Lankans were concerned, in their second dig, they were placed at 111 for 4, but with the lead they were marching along very well, 272 runs with 6 wickets remaining. Once again, Dimut Karunaratne showed what a stubborn customer he was, as he compiled 60 today. And I'm sure South Africa are going to find it very tough, because this pitch can only deteriorate further in goal. And other than that, the first ODI that happened between Pakistan and Zimbabwe, Pakistan registering the first ever ODI win in the year 2018, as Pakistan amassed, I'm sorry, dear subscribers, I'm having a sort of a real sore throat here, so I do apologize for that. And the first ODI between Pakistan and Zimbabwe ending in a Pakistan victory. Pakistan were powered by the second ODI century by the talented Imamul Haq, who made 128, and they powered to 308 for 7, and the Zimbabwe were really made to look like spring chickens, as they were bowled out for 107. Sharab Khan getting career best figures in ODIs. And as far as the second day's play in the second test match with West Indies and Bangladesh, I thought Bangladesh did well in the morning to actually keep the West Indies to 354. But look at what Bangladesh did. Again, it was back to what happened in the first test match, as the Bangladeshis were bowled out for 149, thus conceding a lead of 205 runs. And once again, Jason Holder got his third 5-wicket haul, and he took all those experienced wickets of Mushfiqur Rahim, Shakib Al Hasan, and Mahmudullah, and that was once again another inept display of batting from the Bangladeshis. And West Indies were 19 for 1 in the second innings, and so that means the West Indies were leading by 224 runs. So basically, Bangladesh once again struggling, and that is not good news at all. So we'll talk about that. But first, we are going on to the match between Sri Lanka and South Africa, and looking at the South African innings, they just started off from yesterday. So it was Suranga Lakmal did not come till the 37th over of the South African innings were bowled. He was operating with three spinners, Rangana Herath, Dilruwan Pereira, a lot of variety there, and Sandakan, the wrist spinner. And the South Africa really kept very quiet, and wickets started falling. Dean Elgar was out for 8. Then Keshav Maharaj, the night watchman, was the first to be dismissed. LBW bowled Herath for 3. Amla could make only 15 with 2 boundaries. Bavuma made 17. There were a lot of clean bowled by Sandak and Bavuma, probably trying to play the sweep shot one too many. Ended up with Sandak and clean bowling him for 17 with 2 boundaries. Du Plessis was the only one who offered some amount of resistance, but Suranga Lakmal, as I said, was operating with 3 spinners, and then finally when he came on, he came the 37th over of the South African innings, but he got the very big wicket of Faf du Plessis when he clean bowled him for 49 with 5 boundaries. De Kock was out for 3, Philander 18, and then also Lakmal cleaned up the tail as well by bowling Rabada for 2, Stein for 8, and Shamsi was not and 126 all out, thus conceding 161 runs. Very handy lead for the Sri Lankans. Herath 2 for 39, 19 overs, 5 maidens, 39 runs and 2 wickets for Rangana Herath. Dilruwan Pereira 23 overs, 8 maidens, 46 runs and 4 wickets to Dilruwan Pereira. Sandakan 8 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 18. Suranga Lakmal 4.3 overs, no maiden, 21 runs and 3 wickets. Now Sri Lanka in their second innings, this time one saw that there was a better effort from the South African bowlers, especially the spinners. Keshav Maharaj claiming 3 wickets, but once again for South Africa, the man who was standing between them was Dimuth Karunaratne, who once again reined himself in and contributed 60 runs with 7 boundaries before Rabada was the only pacer to get a wicket. Other than that, all the wickets were taken by the left-arm spinner Keshav Maharaj. He picked up Gunatilaka for 17, 1 boundary. Dhananjay De Silva once again failing, bowled by Keshav Maharaj for 9 with 1-6. Kushal Mendes was LBW bowled Maharaj for 0. And then finally, when stumps were drawn for the day, the Sri Lankan score was 111 for 4. Matthews was not out on 14 with 1 boundary. Roshan Silva was not out on 10 with 2 boundaries. And one has to say that the Sri Lankans were totally on the ascendant, as they were leading by 272 runs. And as I said, this pitch has already started turning from the first day, and going forward it can only turn square. And I think South Africa are in some real trouble here, with Sri Lanka still having 6 wickets remaining. They have Angelo Matthews at the crease, and I think South Africa are in for a real I would say they have to really be at their best in the second innings. But again, that is going to be a bit treacherous according to me. So I think Sri Lanka are looking favourites here, but South Africa have the ability or the habit of playing well in the last innings. So you never know. One has to wait and watch. But tomorrow we are going to day 3. So that is as far as Sri Lanka and South Africa were concerned. And Keshav Maharaj, as I said, took 3 wickets. The first ODI, Pakistan versus Zimbabwe, which was played today, and it was Pakistan who actually batted first and got 308 for 7. It was all in the main to the opener Imamul Haq, who got his second ODI century. He made 128 of 134 balls, which included 11 boundaries. Fakhar Zaman and Imamul Haq also, he really his favorite shot was the pull shot. Anything short, he was very quick to latch onto it. Fakhar Zaman made 60. Now Fakhar Zaman was the maiden wicket for Roche, I suppose. Yes, Fakhar Zaman. There were 2 debutants in the Zimbabwean team today. One was Ryan Murray, the wicketkeeper batsman who was making his debut, and also Roche was making his debut Liam Roche. Liam Roche was a tall right arm off spinner, and he was very impressive as well. Asif Ali, who when I've seen in the T20 how he has gone on to play some quicksilver innings, and that's what he precisely did today. As initially one thought the Zimbabwean bowlers were bowling in the right areas, and both the openers were watchful, but they then went along very nicely and started raising the tempo of the game. Imam ul Haq, as I said, 138, Fakhar Zaman making 60, and he was the maiden victim for the young right arm off spinner Liam Roche, as he picked up his first wicket, and he was very impressive. He was very tall, he was getting a sort of a nice loop, one could say, and Fakhar Zaman was out for 60, he was caught and bowled. It was a good catch taken by Roche off his own bowling. Babar Azam made a busy 30 of 31 deliveries, 34 deliveries with 3 fours. Malik was out for 22 of as many balls with 1 6. Asif Ali was the one who turned it on, and he is someone, to me, he is looking like a real dynamo, because every time I've won a scene that Asif Ali comes at the end and clobbers the bowlers, and that's what he precisely did to push the Pakistan innings past the 300 mark with heavy artillery innings of 46 of just 25 deliveries, which included 4 fours and 2 sixes. 5 Ashraf was out for naught. Sarfraz was not on 13 of 9 balls, 1 6, 1 4. Hassan Ali not. Shadab Khan 2. 308 for 7 was a pretty good score. And the bowling, Tenda Chatara 2 for 49. Blessing Muzrabani 1 for 56. 10 overs, 156 runs and 1 wicket for Blessing Muzrabani. Donald Tripano 10 overs 2 for 66 was pasted all across the field. 3 overs for 22 for Chibaba. Liam Roche 7 overs 1 for 54 on his ODI debut. Masakadza 10 overs 1 for 56. Now Zimbabwe were given a target of 309 runs to win, and they definitely were no match for Pakistan. And if you look at the Zimbabwean innings, there was only the debutant Ryan Murray who stood out in the end, compiling an unbeaten 32 of 48 balls with 1 4. But other than that, there was nothing to talk about. Chari was out for 2 of 4 deliveries. Chibaba was out for 20 of 38 deliveries, 1 4. Masakadza was out for 7. Now that has been a problem. Hamilton Masakadza, as a captain, I think it's really putting a lot of pressure on him because he has not been scoring at all, and that is not a good thing for Zimbabwe. Musakanda 21 of 20, 4 fours. Ryan Moore made 2 of 8 deliveries. Tripano 12. Liam Roche 4. Masakadza not. Chatara 5. Muzrabani not. 107 bowled out the Zimbabweans. A big victory for Pakistan in the first ODI match of the series to start off in great fashion, winning the match by 201 runs. The bowling for Pakistan, Shadab Khan returning very good bowling figures in his ODI career. 9 overs, no maiden, 4 for 32. Hassan Ali 4 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 6. Fahim Ashraf 5 overs, 2 for 14. Usman Khan 5 overs, 1 maiden, 21 runs and 2 wickets. Mohammad Ami 7 overs, 1 maiden, 21 runs and 1 wicket. And Usman Khan was very impressive with his bowling today, 5 overs, 2 for 21. And Imam ul Haq was named man of the match. So 5-match series, and Pakistan have gone 1-0 in the series. Now the next match that I'm going to look at is the West Indies versus Bangladesh, where Bangladesh's woes continued. They once again started committing the same mistakes that they were committing in the first test, and they were ground out for 149 by the West Indian bowlers. Now, as far as West Indies were concerned, one was probably thinking that Shimron Hetmyer might go and get his century, but unfortunately that was not the case. He was out on his overnight score of 86, 9 fours and 1 6. Roston Chase made 20, Dowrich 6. Holder was the one who stood there making an unbeaten 33 of 42, 2 fours, 2 sixes. Kimo Paul was making his debut, was out for naught. Cummins for naught. Gabriel 12, and 354 all out with Mehdi Hassan Miraz, the top wicket taker, 29 overs, 9 maidens, 93 runs and 5 wickets. Abu Jayed also did a good job, 18 overs, 7 maidens, 38 runs and 3 wickets to Abu Jayed. Now, Bangladesh started off their reply, and they were into real trouble right from the openers. The only, if you look at the scorecard there, for Bangladesh, Tamim Iqbal contributed 47 good runs, and what a delivery which was produced by the test debutant Kimo Paul. He got the ball to just whiz away of the outside edge of Tamim Iqbal and clean bowled him for 47. So that was wonderfully done, as that is something which was a difficult skill to master, but Kimo Paul has it in him. Well, I was really impressed by Kimo Paul when I saw him in the qualifiers, in the World Cup qualifiers. He was very impressive. He was quite pacey, and he really is someone to look at. Other than that, Liton Das out for 12, so 47 from Tamim Iqbal with 6 fours. Liton Das 12 of 18, 2 fours. Mominul Haq out for naught, struggled over there, and he has been having a very poor run in this series. Shakib Al Hasan making 32 with 5 boundaries. Mahmudullah not. Mushfiqur Rahim made 24 with 5 boundaries. Nurul Hasan not. Again a victim of Kimo Paul, who got his second victim in Test cricket. Mehdi Hassan Miraz 3 and Tajul Islam 18. Kamrul Islam was not out or not. But I have to say that again the Bangladeshi batsmen are finding it very, very difficult, and once again another poor show by the Bangladeshi batsmen, which saw them being bowled out for 149 and thus conceding a very big 205 runs lead to the West Indians. The bowling, Jason Holder got to his third 5-wicket haul in 3 matches now, has 10.1 overs, 1 maiden, 44 runs and 5 wickets. 2 wickets apiece to Gabriel and Paul. As I said, Kimo Paul was very impressive, 2 for 25 on his debut, 9 overs, 2 maidens, 25 runs and 2 wickets. Cummins 1 for 34. And West Indies, with the cushion of 205 runs, finished at 19 for 1 at close of play, losing Brathwaite to the bowling of Shakib Al Hasan for 8. Devon Smith not out 8. Kimo Paul, the night watchman, was sent as a night watchman. He was not out or not, as West Indies now lead by 224 runs, and Shakib Al Hasan the only wicket taker. Well, dear fans and subscribers, there's nothing else to really talk about with this very sore throat of mine. I think it's about to say good night on this daily cricket show, and I'll be seeing you all tomorrow on my next Cricket Happening show. Until then, and tomorrow, let me also tell you that tomorrow the second ODI between England and India, which will be taking place, and one has to say the battle would be with the Indian wrist spinner Kuldeep Yadav. As far as England are concerned, with India already 1-0 in the series. Well, dear fans and subscribers, a pleasure talking to you. See you all tomorrow. Until then, good night.